It's Juneteenth. Short for June 19th, it commemorates June 19th, 1865. After more than 2 years of the issuing of the Emancipation Proclamation, the last remaining enslaved African Americans in the former Confederacy were told that they were free. Although celebrated by the African American community since this time, it only became a national holiday in 2021. Join me as we take part in celebrations at National Harbor, Maryland. In this series, we will visit the Black-owned marketplace, watch stage performances, appreciate African American themed artworks, and generally soak in the festive atmosphere. We will make a few new friends at the American Way across the street, and then pop into the Gaylord National Resort, the largest non-gaming hotel and convention center on the East Coast with almost 2,000 guest rooms. I'll meet you at the Ferris wheel. So now we are right across the street, and across the street is this right in front of us. And what it is, it says right here, "Welcome to the American Way." Way meaning a pathway. So let's take a look. Here we have the flag in a pretty artistic kind of style, and it says National Harbor. And who do we have here? None other than George Washington himself. And these are life-size. George Washington was pretty tall. I think he was 6'1". And here we are together. I'm about 5'10". So, and George Washington is kind of leaning a bit, and I'm standing straight up. So this seems about right. And then we come over here, and we've got Abraham Lincoln. He was even taller, I think. And he's got his hand out. I'll go ahead and shake your hand, Mr. Lincoln. Mr. Lincoln, I actually went to your high school. I went to Abraham Lincoln High School in Brooklyn, New York. So I think he likes me more now because I went to his high school. Oh, what do you know? The artist studio is in Brooklyn, New York. Isn't that something? And look how tall he is. Here we are together. Yeah, of course he's got the top hat, but still, it's like I could just kind of like come up to the bottom of his neck. And here is Frederick Douglass, the great abolitionist. He was also tall. He also has me beat. And right here, there is supposed to be a Ford Model T. It says, please do not touch or sit on the car. But you take a look around the area. There is an empty space over here and a tree and a bench. So don't know what happened there, but Henry Ford is right here looking at his car that's not there. This is Henry Ford himself looking very serious. And this actually, I don't know if you can tell or not, but it spells out Ford. His jacket spells out Ford. And he's got like car gears on the inside. There's an odometer, it says miles per hour. And here is a quote on the ground that you may have heard maybe a few years ago, and it is by General George S. Patton. And it says, better to fight for something than live for nothing. And I think it was the second to last Rambo movie that came out. Rambo said it, and suddenly you just saw it all over social media, and everyone was saying it for a while when the movie came out. But that quote actually did not come from Rambo. It came from General George S. Patton, and it is on the ground here. And here we have Winston Churchill. Now you may think, if this is a street full of notable Americans, why is Winston Churchill here? Of course, he was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom during World War II. So why is he here? His mother was actually from Brooklyn, New York. He was half American, and a lot of people don't know that. And outside the British Embassy in Washington, D.C., he has one foot, I think it's his right foot. His right foot is well in front of his left foot, and his right foot is on American soil, while his back foot is on British soil because, of course, the embassy is considered soil of that country. So a very little known fact, or at least a not well-known fact about Winston Churchill. And this fountain, when I was here for the Cherry Blossom Festival, it was shut down. There was no water flowing at all, so it's kind of cool to see it in action. And here we have Rosie the Riveter, who in and of herself was a fictional character, but she represented a true class of working women during World War II. So of course at first you had these men that worked in the factories, but then many of them were sent off to war. And the women came in and took over their jobs in the factories, especially for making weapons and supplies for the armed forces, for the war. And so Rosie the Riveter represents all of them. But here you can see down here, Rosie the Riveter, 1940s, cultural icon of women during World War II. And Rosie the Riveter is actually embedded in the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. And here's another great quote. This one comes from Eleanor Roosevelt. It says, "One's philosophy is not best expressed in words. It is expressed in the choices one makes." And this is an iconic image from the end of World War II.